Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something literally all of us have gone through. You know the feeling, whether it's flu season, the weather changing, or just catching a sudden bug, you're stuck in bed, and you can just feel the heat radiating off you. Well, today we are going to look at exactly what is happening inside your body when you get a high fever.
Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty wild paradox. It's kind of confusing when you think about it. If your body is literally overheating, why on earth do your muscles start shaking with cold? Like, why do we instinctively pile on heavy blankets when we are burning up? To figure that out, we're going to quickly cover 5 things: what exactly a fever is, the causes and symptoms, your body's amazing defense mechanism, the pros and cons, and finally, proper treatment and precautions.
All right, section 1. What exactly is fever? Defining the baseline and the threshold.
Normally, your body acts like this perfectly tuned machine. It's constantly working behind the scenes to keep your baseline temperature super stable, right around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or about 37 degrees Celsius. And at that temp, everything from your organs to your enzymes is perfectly happy and functioning optimally. But there is a threshold, the exact moment that internal temperature crosses 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 Celsius. Bam, it is officially a fever. And remember, the fever itself isn't a disease. It's actually this huge blinking biological signal that a fight has started inside you. Moving on to section 2, causes and symptoms. Identifying the invaders and the fallout. So, a high fever is basically your body's primary warning system that some kind of invader has breached the gates. And these triggers, they're all over the place. We're talking viral infections like the flu or COVID-19, bacterial stuff like pneumonia, mosquito-borne illnesses, think malaria or dengue, and even things like heat exhaustion or just bad food poisoning. Your body senses the contamination and it just rings the alarm bells. And because of those alarms, you get hit with this massive cascade of symptoms. We're talking that scorching hot body temperature, sweating, chills, and shivering. You might get a pounding headache, deep body aches, absolute total exhaustion, and zero appetite. Your heart starts racing, and this is a big one, you become super susceptible to dehydration. It feels absolutely awful, I know, but it is all part of the process. Which brings us to section 3, the body's defense mechanism. The microscopic war inside you. Imagine you pick up a bug, right? A pathogen enters your system. Your immune system's frontline soldiers, mainly your white blood cells, they spot this enemy instantly. And to sound the alarm, they release these special chemical messengers into your bloodstream called pyrogens. Now, these pyrogens travel straight up to your brain, making a beeline for this tiny, super important area called the hypothalamus. You can think of the hypothalamus as your body's master thermostat. When those pyrogens show up, they basically yell, "Hey, we are under attack. Turn up the heat so we can fight these germs." And wow, this sequence perfectly answers that question we asked at the very beginning. Look closely at step 4. The hypothalamus just cranked up your target temperature. Let's say it wants you at 102 degrees, but your physical body is sitting at 98.6. So your brain panics and goes, "Whoa, I am way too cold." And it forces your muscles to shiver. Just like you shiver in the snow to warm up, your body is aggressively shivering to generate the heat needed to hit that new, higher thermostat setting. Isn't that wild? Think about it like boiling water. Why do we boil water before drinking it? To kill the microbes, right? Your body is doing the exact same thing. It deliberately turns up the heat because most of those invading viruses and bacteria literally cannot survive or multiply when it's that hot. And as a bonus, your white blood cells actually get supercharged in the heat, fighting way faster and better.
Section 4. Pros and cons. When the defense goes a little too far. So yeah, there are some really distinct advantages here. The heat slows down viral growth, it kicks your immune system into high gear, and it acts as an unignorable sign that you need to stop and rest. But there are big risks too. This internal heat wave can cause dangerous dehydration because you're sweating out so much fluid. It causes intense, debilitating fatigue. And in vulnerable groups, especially young kids, a sudden spike in temp can actually trigger terrifying febrile seizures. Okay, section 5. Proper treatment and precautions. How do we manage the heat safely? Look, viral fevers usually just need to run their course, and they'll improve in a few days. So the best thing you can do is support your body. You absolutely must stay intensely hydrated. Drink plenty of water to make up for the sweating. Rest up in light clothes. Don't bury yourself in a mountain of heavy blankets. A cool, wet cloth on the forehead feels amazing. Eat some healthy soups, and if you really need to, take medicines like paracetamol to take the edge off, but only exactly as a doctor directs. Now, please pay really close attention here because there are limits to just letting it ride. If that internal thermostat hits 103 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 39.4 Celsius, we are no longer in standard fever territory. This is a critical point where you need to consult a medical professional, and that is especially urgent if we're talking about young children or older adults. And if the temperature somehow crosses 106 degrees Fahrenheit or 41.1 Celsius, this becomes acutely, instantly life-threatening. At that extreme heat, the actual proteins in your body can start breaking down. You're risking severe, irreversible brain and organ damage. You also got to seek immediate emergency medical help if you see any of these massive red flags. If the fever lasts more than 3 days, if the person has any difficulty breathing, if there's severe continuous vomiting, unexplained skin rashes, obvious mental confusion, or, God forbid, they lose consciousness. Don't wait around. These are signs your body is losing the war and needs outside help. Right now. Let's wrap this explainer up by really cementing this shift in perspective. Fever itself is not the villain. It's a symptom. It is your body's incredibly loyal, fiercely dedicated defense mode doing everything it possibly can to keep you safe from microscopic invaders. So the next time your temperature spikes, your whole body aches, and that involuntary shivering kicks in, ask yourself, instead of treating the fever like an enemy to fear, how will you support your body's microscopic soldiers in their fight? Drink that water, get some rest, and let your body do what it was brilliantly designed to do. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Stay healthy and take care.